Namaste, beloved ones. It is such a gift to connect with you. I was actually feeling you there as Shri and I were waiting to see if everything was flowing. And of course it is. We are flowing. And welcome over at TFR Live. Welcome at Oneness Talk Radio. Welcome at YouTube. I believe we are at both of our YouTube channels, official Shri and Kira, plus over at Oneness Talk Radio YouTube. And of course, we are honored to be here with you at Soul Mirrors, being amazed together. I am Kira Raa, one of your hosts this evening. And you know, guys, I just want to open up this evening by, first of all, saying thank you for being here. We have just really, it feels like this moment embrace that Mercury has now gone stationary, right? So we are now in this moment where we will be in this post-retrograde phase through August 15th, but there is kind of like an right? Just like an exhale, a moment that says, we are here. And indeed we are. And if you have not yet watched the video that Shri and I have put out for August, please, it is 11 minutes. It's really important. There is an energy this month that is about this ascended mother, about this rise of the Kali Ma. And woven through that is going to be this rich opportunity of choice. And these choices are going to be showing up in many different ways, because this is a little mini cycle that's culminating. And what's so extraordinary is that this show is dedicated to you, the hashtag lineage holder, the one that is awake and awakening, the one that is maybe having times where you're wondering, is this all real or not? Am I crazy or not? Join that club, right? And so the purpose of this show is for us to come together in a safe and sacred space. And every week I have the absolute honor, and I mean it is the absolute honor, of inviting these extraordinary beings to co-host this show with me. And I want to just share a little bit about this week's co-host before I bring her in, because she is an extraordinary woman. And if you receive our e-cards, then you might have already read that tonight we're really talking about sacrifice and the Ascended Mother. And it just felt like such a profound moment to bring this forward, because is that really who we are? You know, is that really what we need to do? And to recognize that this Ascended Mother is a transformation. And what does that really mean? It means it's an opportunity to be creating, to be birthing, bringing forward in the choice moment through our awakened presence for the first time in what feels like millennia, the opportunity to breathe mastery. And when we are the breathing epitome of mastery, then our life starts lining up. And tonight's co-host has really walked the journey. And I have had the honor, I don't even know how many years it's been. I'll have to ask her when she comes on, but I have had the honor of walking this journey with her. And I have cried with her, I have laughed with her, I have held her, and she has held me. And I'm honored to have witnessed the blossoming of this extraordinary being of love. Geri Habstritt is a profoundly talented individual who offers extraordinary processes to people, and she does it both over the web. But she also, I'm so excited, just opened her beautiful healing center in downtown Boise. We're going to be asking her about that as well. But what's more enriching than all of the things that Geri does, or all of the things any of us do, is the who that we are when we say yes to our mastery. And that's the person we're welcoming this evening. And so we're going to talk about Geri's bio. We're going to talk about some of the extraordinary twists and turns that her journey and my journey had in common. And I do want to share with you that each one of our co-hosts, I always ask the same question to. And that question is, what does mastery mean to me? Well, Geri's response was this one. So let's just listen to this. Self-realizing and achieving my dreams while navigating and lifting through the density obstacles. Now, when I read that, I giggled, and I did share that with Geri already. And the reason I giggled is because I think that's probably a very kind way to talk about an extraordinary journey and the blessing of the arrival. And so speaking of the blessing of the arrival, I'm going to bring Geri in right now. I'm going to promote her to a panelist, and Geri is going to join us in just a moment, and we're going to get this conversation going even further. There she is. Namaste, Geri. Welcome.
Namaste. Hi, I'm happy to be here.
Well, welcome. And if you can turn up your volume, we'd be grateful. It seems to have gotten a little lower. Shri is saying maybe talk a little closer to you might have to like lean in.
I will
Hey, there we go. Oh my goodness, it is so much better. The closer you, I'll do the same thing. How's that? We'll let everybody in on our secret, right? As we're talking really ear to ear. And so welcome. I also want to share with all of you that I see that the phone lines are already filling up. Hey, but there is still room. If you want to join Geri and I, get into the conversation, give us a call. And our phone number is what, Geri? What's that phone number? Okay, it's 517-208-1500. And it was not a test, Geri. It is 517-208-1500. You can jump into the queue. You do get to listen to Geri and I while you're holding, and I do promise we will get to your calls. We do also have some beautiful emails here. You're always welcome to send us an email to guest@shriandkiraradio.com, and we do our best to go through as many of those as we can. So Geri, welcome. I'm glad that you had to move closer to we get to see your beautiful face, even more radiant and gorgeous there. So, hey, before we go any further, I just want to sincerely say that we are all saying we are so happy for you that you have opened up your healing center in Boise today, your brick and mortar. I mean, you've been doing this forever, but this is a big, beautiful moment. So I just wanted to open up the show by saying congratulations.
Thank you. I am excited. This has been a long time dream of mine. And so I'm finally stepping into it, not talking about it or thinking about it. And I've just been thinking about how I've been thinking about it and talking about it for so long. And now that I'm there, I don't know why I didn't do it sooner.
Well, of course, right? Isn't that what happens when we arrive on the other side? Right before Geri and I got on with all of you this evening, we were having a beautiful conversation. And Geri, how many years have we known each other now? Because I honestly don't know. Forgive me. You know
9
me in time.
No
way.
2009.
Wow. So like almost 10 years.
10 years.
10 years. Doesn't it seem like yesterday? Oh my goodness. Wow. So over those 10 years, I just love that because of so many reasons. I would love the 10 and from ascended numerology perspectives and all of those beautiful things. But, here we are today in August 1, and this Mercury retrograde has just released, right? We know we're going to have a little shadow, but it's released. You've just made a declaration. We've just finished the lineage holder culmination. And you have literally said, I am, right? I am who I am. And I know that there's a lot of people listening. They're going, wow, you just opened this magnificent center. Of course, you're already a very accomplished healer and teacher, and you do so many beautiful things. As a matter of fact, I have to brag on Geri because Geri is my teaching assistant when we do Ascended Numerology in October. And she's going to be certified to then be the first person other than me that's actually able to really teach Ascended Numerology. And so thank you, Geri. I'm very excited about that too.
I'm excited as well. I can't say how much I love Ascended Numerology, and I use it every day, and it is so exact. I'm thrilled to be doing this with you.
Thank you. I'm honored. I really am. And so if you want to jump into the fun, guys, we have early registration discounts right now. Just go to shriandkira.com and just go check out the events anyway, because we've put on all kinds of events through 2020. We are all full for visiting us here at Tosa Blue Mountain in 2019, but we do have the 2020 events on. Plus you can go to tosabluemountain.com and come anytime that you like. Bring your small group if you like. And Geri, Wow. I just want to say that as I'm connecting with you again right now, you had just done a show and I was loving what you were sharing with me about the show. And I'd like to start there. I feel like I'm sharing with people this beautiful movie of Geri. And let's start with the show and opening up the office. And then let's kind of go back a few years and really look at the lineage holder mastery that you have had to really walk through to get to this moment. Does that feel okay?
That feels good to me.
All right. So tell me what you were, so guys, as you know, we are currently, Geri number one has an incredibly successful radio show. If you did not know, you have to go check out her show, Light, Laughter, and Lattes, one of my favorite shows. Go to onenesstalkradio.com, check out her show. And so you're already a successful radio host. I mean, you already have a successful practice, but it was taking it to this next level of really kind of outing yourself that just happened kind of in a very big way for you. So tell me again, what was happening over the weekend? I love this thing about having to go buy the tent quick at Amazon. I mean, talk about improvisation and commitment.
Well, no, it started with I think it was the chiropractic adjustment that we had in June.
Yes. Oh my gosh, yes. No comment there, huh? The core for sure.
So I just knew that I had to move. So I spent a whole month moving from Meridian, Idaho to Boise, Idaho, and it took everything I had. And I had my children lined up to come and see me, and we were going to go camping for a week. Did that, came back, and I was exhausted, but I knew that Goddess Festival was coming. And this is the place where all the people who do what I do are going to be. This is the place where the people who love what I do are going to be. And this was my moment. I've been here for 5 years going to Goddess Festival, thinking about that I should be there, and I haven't been. So I said, well,
so this was your very first time that you said, yes, I'm going to do this.
I've done little tiny tables at little things, but I've never done anything big before. So I didn't have a tent. I didn't know how to do the tent. I don't know how to do the festival thing, nothing. And so my children leave on Friday and it's like Sunday. And I'm like, okay, I got to do this no matter how tired I am. So I went on Amazon and I bought a tent and I had it shipped to me. And I had literally like 4 days. I called a friend over, help me put this thing up so I can see what it looks like. I need a table. Do you have a table? I ran around and got chairs. I went to the materials store, found beautiful golden material, and they've got that lovely tape stuff that you can just put on there and fold over and make some drapes. So I made golden curtains and it turned out beautiful.
It sounds amazing. I mean, I'm just sitting here going, wow, I love it. Talk about being inspired.
I had high school students stopping by. I had people would just look at it and light up and walk over in a different way. And even other people at the other booths were kind of looking over like, what's different about over there than everywhere else? And I saw so many beautiful people. I found friends that I'm going to be working with. I had people stop by and say, I've got a place downtown that I have as a successful counselor. Could you bring your jewelry in? Can we do a jewelry show?
Yes.
Yes, I know. I had people who saw the rods sign, the Egyptian healing rods. If you don't know about them, you should, because they're an invaluable tool right now to keep your energy robust. And especially if you're a healer and working with other people, you need to stay strong, because I'm watching a lot of other people giving their energy away, trying to help others. And so I had lots of other healers coming to me for balances and wanting information about the rods. And some people were just lighting up. They saw them and they had this ancient memory that I could see in them. And one guy's eyes popped out and he ran over and he's like, holy shit. And he's like, it was the best comment I'd ever heard. I was laughing and he picked him up in the exact right hands and he stood there and all this information was coming through him. And it was more beautiful than I could have imagined. And I was supposed to close at 5 on Sunday, and I had people there till 7 that night. And so it just really filled me. I've got a 1.5 pages of names of people who want to be on my list, who want to come to workshops, who want to know more about rods, people who couldn't afford them, but just came on Saturday and they came running back to me on Sunday saying, I have to try them again. They were so profound the night before, or the day before.
Yeah, well, that's true, right? I mean, that's true. And so how did it feel, Geri? Did it, at any point during that weekend, were you doubting yourself?
Not at all. Matter of fact, I had 2 girlfriends walk by me, didn't stop to talk to me because they saw what I was doing, but they sent me texts and said, we didn't want to stop you, but you were amazing in the truth of who you are, doing what you love to do. I've never seen you so lit up.
That's what I'm wanting to hear. I love it.
No, and the thing about it is I actually left more full than I came with, which is
that's when you know you're in divine flow.
Yeah.
See, that's when you know you're really in your higher presence.
Yeah. Because I really energetically, before I left, I was exhausted and I didn't know how I was going to do it. And once I started doing it, I couldn't believe how energized I became.
Right? The divine universal flow. I have so many people that have asked Shri and I over the years, you guys are machines, how do you do what you do? Now you know how we do what we do. It's not that you're not tired. It's that if I don't do this, it's not going to get done. And this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And who am I not to do it? And then the universe comes forward and says, look, if you keep saying yes, watch how even more amazing it's going to get. Watch how much more energy you're going to get. Watch how many more connections are going to start connecting. And so that's when we say yes to flow. And I'm really enjoying that we're starting here. I mentioned earlier, I feel like we're in the movie of Geri. And I want to share to all of you on the call board, stay there. I promise you, Geri and I are going to get to you shortly. But Geri, every week we talk about, how we swim through the pyramid of spiritual awakening. And this Geri right here that I love and adore is so, let's just say, aware and so uniquely empowered and so 180 degrees different than the Geri I met 10 years ago.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So who was that Geri? Can we take that journey with our listeners? Because I think our listeners who are sitting here going, man, this girl's got it all together. She's got everything. She's a successful radio show host and she's this great healer, master, and it's all falling together. Well, hey guys, this girl earned it in every sense of the word. And that's why this is such a empowered mother. And that's why I also wanted to bring up the word sacrifice, because I've had to look at that word a lot myself. And I know that a lot of you listening have had to look at that word and the many multifacets of that. So Geri, who did I meet 10 years ago? Take me back 10 years ago.
10 years ago. Wow. You met someone who was very much the mom who would do everything for her kids and probably everything for other people as well. Would do a lot for probably a husband who wasn't doing much for her. And I was giving of myself to everyone before me.
Yeah.
The kids would get the really nice, expensive tennis shoes, and I would, go by with the measly whatever, spend a little bit amount of money on me. I mean, that's just a tiny little example, but it's one that stands out. The unbalanced. I just did a show on claiming balance, and I think about the heart and the four and the balance. Very much giving, but not receiving.
Yeah. And so where had that brought you? I mean, you had been doing that for quite a few years, and we don't have to go all the way back, but there was a moment in you that there inside of you is a very deep, my experience of it when I connect with your higher self is this very deep, strong, I want to call it a river of energy that nothing will ever compromise for you. It's like that river ignited somehow. How did you ignite that? What was it? How did you literally find yourself saying, I know there's more than this, or I know that I'm ready for more than this? How did you get there? I mean, how did you go from literally Geri, the sacrificer, right? You made yourself the sacrifice. Isn't that what we often do as women, or as any of us who are caregivers or who offer to others? Because this is certainly not a gender issue. How many of us make ourselves the sacrifice? Or feel that we have to give something up, that we cannot do what it is we're supposed to do. And so, Geri, how did you make that leap? What woke up that river of presence that is now who you are? What woke that up? How did that happen for you?
Boy, I don't really know. Are you talking about after I met you, or because I had a real?
Am I? I don't know. Was it before?
Well, I had a week-long wake up before I met you that woke me up for me knowing that there was absolutely more to me than what I was seeing. And I was shown through a series of dreams that I could heal with my hands and I could heal from a distance. But more than the dreams about healing with the hands and from the distance, I was being shown in all these feats of strength, and I had to absolutely trust. And there was more nights of dreams about me needing to trust myself than there was about healing. And then it was like, from then on, it was like, okay, now we showed you, now you got to go out and do it. And I kind of thought it was just going to maybe happen within the next week or so after the dream. But like, wow, it's been 10 years and I'm still working on this, being the healer and the trust. I think I'm pretty good on the trust thing though. It really took having to drop my ego to be able to do that. But no, I don't know what shifted me from being the sacrificee to someone. I think it was, getting ran over enough times.
Well, okay. So what does that mean? I mean, so let me ask you this then, Geri. So you had this series of dreams. Was that the first time you had ever had that type of experience? I mean, were you one of those awake children? Had you had all these other experiences, or were these dreams really the like, wow moment in your life?
Well, when I was, a teenager, I can remember laying on my bed and falling like into my third eye and spinning off and going somewhere. And I remember it scaring me, thinking I might not be able to come back again. So I stopped that. Mm-hmm. And then I used to fall asleep and wake up in another dimension. I could hear all these people talking in the house, but yet I knew I was alone and there was no one there. And I didn't know what was going on there either. So I knew that I was having different experiences that were odd that I couldn't explain. And then nothing really happened until my brother passed away suddenly. And he started coming back to me very profoundly. And I knew without a doubt it was him. And so that even woke me up a little bit more. And so then I started literally claiming things because I was creating like instantly stuff. And I'm like, this is crazy. How am I doing this? I need to find out. So I got books and started exploring and pasting things on my walls. Tell me why I'm here. Tell me what I meant to create. And then this week-long series of dreams, and it wasn't a dream. I was somewhere else, because when I came,
absolutely.
Yeah. I was lit up. I didn't need food. I didn't need water. I didn't need anything. I was just good. And so I was, that's when I was kind of shown one night to the next, I'd fall asleep. And then I had people coming to me too that had passed, giving me messages for other people. And so then I knew that was the true, now I really know.
Yeah. Yeah. So then, okay, you enter 10 years ago. Let's scroll ahead again. Now take me. So 10 years ago, you were married. She is not now. 10 years ago, you were the sacrifice, right? You just had sacrifice me written all over yourself. And my experience of you was that was really who you were. That was your identity. And so how did you walk that ladder? Because I am going to skip ahead here and say that, like myself, you wound up on the other side of that ladder in a place you never dreamed you would need to go. And that one of the sacrifices of the sacrificer was the way your children and you are now together. In my case, I lost my children totally. In your case, you do still have communication with them. So it's a very, you want to talk about an arc of energy. And I'm skipping ahead because I think that all of us, whether we are mothers of children, whether we are mothers of others' children, or whether we are simply a mother of Gaia or a mother of energy, at what point can we lift through those experiences and really pinpoint and gaze at the energy? I look at you have the strength, wisdom, courage, right? Those are those three energies that we look at. And I know over the past 10 years, I have witnessed you more than once having to go through them almost instantaneously. And I know myself what I went through, because I lost my 3-year-old right when I met Shri. And that was literally the choice that I did not know I was making. that it wound up being her or Shri. And it wasn't literally that I picked Shri over her. It was the mission. It was who I am now. And so I think that one of the things we always share is that, spirit loves us enough to keep us on a need to know basis. But I know the Geri I met 10 years ago would never have navigated and wound up here. So what happened along the way?
Well, do you want the story? Do we want the story?
What would you like to share? What, we are here as lineage holders loving each other. And how many beings are out there right now in the middle of a similar type choice?
Yeah. So I was the victim. I guess when you sacrifice yourself, really you're being a victim. You're
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
You're sacrificing yourself by being the self-sacrifice. So I was the victim. So I got to walk through an experience with a husband that, harassed me, broke into my house, stole all my personal journals and spread them out 200-mile radius and had other people reading them. I got my journals back and literally found notes that other people had written in my journal, like wackadoo. And let me see, he sent people out to photograph me. He would just show up at events that he knew I was going to be at and just have his vehicle sitting there so that I would know that he's got an eye on me at all times. And so it was 7 years in court, 4 years in Minnesota to court. It got to the point where I was running on adrenaline for so long that it was not healthy. And I had to get out of there. I had to leave, or my kids wouldn't have had a mother at all. And I needed to be, hindsight, I thought I could keep enduring. I thought I could probably stay there and continue to endure because I needed to be with my kids, but I couldn't. I needed to leave, first of all, to learn how to make myself number one.
Right.
But the second thing I think was that I needed to be in a place that I felt safe. I needed to be able to not have to lock my doors if I didn't want to. I mean, I think about how I'm working with clients. They don't release anything until they feel safe.
Right,
and
of course.
So I needed to get here, and it had to be far enough away that I knew he couldn't get in a vehicle and come and reach me. And Idaho is that far from Minnesota. So I felt good. I could drive around. There's no connections that he had. He's not going to have anyone go follow me and so I was safe to be here and I could start letting go. And once I could start letting go, I could lift above it and see the gifts in it and do the forgiveness. But I don't think I could have done that being in a town constantly looking over my shoulder and worrying about it. And so that meant having to leave my children there. And ultimately, I thought they were going to end up here with me. So I guess it made it a little easier to leave. I had the judge actually give me 9 days to leave. So I was in Guatemala with you and Shri at Self-Ascension Intuitive Counseling. And you had said, well, you're probably going to be moving fairly soon. And literally while I was there, I get a note from the judge that I had to be out in 9 days. And at the same time that I was
out of your own home, right? That was what you.
Home, yes,
right.
And I had all the things. So I had to say goodbye to my son, kids. I had to move my oldest son to college, move out of a 3,000 square foot house and all this furniture, find a new place in Idaho. I'd never been there. I didn't know anyone there. Didn't have friends there, never saw Idaho. I just went online, found an apartment. I remember you saying, let it be easy. So I literally found easy movers to come and move me.
Oh, it's cute.
You don't think I don't listen to what you say.
No, I'm not saying a word. I'm not, hey.
And so I found easy movers and they moved me, and I probably needed that 9 days because if I had time to even think about what I was doing, I could have never done it.
Exactly. And I want to jump in here because I think all of you are getting the story here, right? This woman had, Shri and Eve and I, we started getting mails from the ex. He started writing us and started harassing us publicly. And then literally you had your spirituality literally put on trial.
Yes.
And I think that this is a very fascinating thing to talk about in a country that is supposed to have a separation of church and state, in the way that this was happening, that you as a mother who literally there were lots and lots of reasons that you certainly were the sane choice for your children. Yet because you would not renounce who you were, I mean, you literally watched the sacrificer become the sacrifice, make the ultimate sacrifice. Yet what you said was yes to your life. And this is the empowered mother. You know, the empowered mother is the one who loves her children enough, the one who gets it, that if we each have picked our parents, then we all know what we were in for. And if we picked ascended parents, then it's because we ourselves are strong enough to rise up. And as someone who has called forward her ascended mastery, Geri, which you have, then the gift you give your children, and the gift I like to believe that my children are also receiving, my biological children, is that they are being free to do exactly what they need to do to claim their mastery, knowing that you are always there, knowing that not only are you there, you're there in a capacity that would have never been. You know, I will share, my daughter's birthday was last month. I'm surrounded by cancers, my husband, my daughter, my grandmother. I mean, I'm just surrounded by cancers. And this year for her birthday, my daughter turned 31. This is my oldest daughter. And I was like, how did that happen? And anyway, or 32. Oh my goodness gracious. She turned 32. You know me in linear time. So of course, all the other wonderful things that we as mothers like to do for our children. But of course, you know, I very rarely see my children. The last time I lived with my daughter, she was 16. It's been a long time. And I realized as I was brushing my hair, getting ready for a soul mirror show, that I had been having a mirrored image of something in my life that I wasn't enjoying. And I realized I had done that to her when she was a child. And so the gift I gave my daughter for her birthday was my sincerest apology and my sincerest, I did the absolute best I could. And I know I let you down, and that my heart was broken, that her heart would have ever broken even once because of me. And the email I got back, or the WhatsApp, whatever it was, the IM that I got back from Danielle was so beautiful, because she said, this is the kind of letter that we pray we would get one day from our parents. The one that says that we really can see each other for who we are, and that we really love each other for who we are. And she's like, I know, she said, I've been mad at you a long time. And she said, but now I just want to know you. And so I'm sharing that with you, Geri, because it took my daughter from the age of 16 to 31, but it really happened, honey. And we are on a journey of mastery. We are all on a journey of mastery. And if we really believe what we're saying, then we manifest tents from Amazon with golden curtains, and people from everywhere come running to us because something unique is happening with you. And here's what has to happen though, Geri. You got to walk the walk. And if you really believe that you pick your parents, if you really believe that we have inserted into this timeline for a specific reason, and if we don't do it, then who are we as a role model for our kids? My daughter is a 32-year-old lawyer who now has her own office, part of this huge firm in a massive part of Denver, Colorado. You know, she's going to make partner soon. I'm proud that she's doing exactly what she needs to do. And I know that she attained that even through the pain that we each experience, right? And so you said something really critical, and it was about forgiveness, because it's when we can begin the forgiveness of ourselves that we begin ascending, right? And Geri, that's what I've watched you do. And then we all get to that fear moment. And I watched you go through that for a couple of years, where it's like, now what am I going to do with it? So how did you walk through that? Because I, even going on the air, doing your radio show, getting that started and doing everything you're doing now, how did you finally master that fear and walk through it?
You know, I guess it's that, well, there's a part of it is like, well, geez, if I can go to court for 7 years, I can leave my kids, I can move out of the town. I guess I could probably do anything.
Yes. Thank you for saying yes to that.
So
yes.
It's the energy that I need to walk through. And I know there's still this underlying thing about my children too, that I know without a doubt that the only way they are going to get to true freedom is if I get there first.
Exactly. Exactly.
So I'm not really giving them a gift by staying around and playing the typical role model mom. I'm not at all.
I'm clapping, and we're all clapping.
I don't want my daughter to have to go through what I went through, because she's right behind me, and so is my son. I need to clean this crap up first, which is the lineage stuff. So that
I was just going to say lineage holder.
It's like I can either give them college, stay with them and give them college, because I hear that a lot. Well, I need to do this and that. Or I can go off and give them true freedom, which is, I'd rather have them have that anyway.
Chances are they're going to go to college anyway.
Yeah. Right. So there was the deep knowing in me that I had to do this. And the only way I'm going to help them is by me moving through everything. And so whenever I lose even a little bit of energy, it's like, okay, well, what wouldn't I do for my kids still here? That means going to put up a tent when I'm exhausted. And I'm doing it for me. I can't keep talking about it. I see myself there. The only way I'm going to get there is by taking the steps. So
thank you. And that's the mastery moment. And my heart is just smiling, because sincerely, when we say yes to our empowerment, when we open the clinic, when you finally have opened your Joyful Evasive Living Center, when you have finally taken the steps and said, yes, I don't need to be in the little shows. I'm a big show girl because I have a lot to share. The Egyptian healing rod, Shivo Ham. I mean, there's so much going on around you. And so this is that moment of mastery that no matter what, it all works. And so I'm going to go ahead and we're going to go over to our call board, Geri, because we have all these beautiful people that have been holding for so long. And I'm going to start right at the top of the call board. We have an anonymous blocked unknown caller. So I thought we could have some fun with that, right? So we're going to say welcome and namaste. Namaste. Welcome to Soul Mirrors. Okay, we're going to go to another caller. We're going to go to it looks like Murfreesboro, Tennessee. All right, we're going to Tennessee. Namaste, Tennessee. Welcome.
Hello. This is Elizabeth.
Hey, welcome, Angel. Namaste.
Oh my goodness, I just got tears of joy listening to you ladies. This is just the most beautiful conversation. It resonates with so many different parts of my journey. Both of you, thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you. Thank you for receiving. Yeah.
Oh, I feel like when Geri was saying that, I always hear, what is it, Truman said, the buck stops here. That is how I have tried to walk this journey with my children. That the crap that is not of love, let's get rid of this. Let's get this cleared. It's time to get this done for everybody.
Absolutely. And you are radiating that. This is Elizabeth. I want to share with you that, I really thank you for thanking Geri and I for sharing. I'll let you in on a little secret. The very first time I ever shared that I had lost my children as part of my journey, and I shared a little bit about how that all happened, I was in New York, and I was on stage at this event, very large event in New York, big room, I don't know, maybe 400 people. And when Sri and I walked off stage, there were 3 women waiting off stage that started screaming at me that I was the most horrible woman on the planet, that I was a bitch, that I was, how dare I say that I'm doing anything spiritual? And they were screaming at me, and one of them spit at me. And and I had just seen 400 people, and I've got all these other people that want me to sign a book. But I'm thanking you for sharing that, because we each have our journey, and yet we wind up here, and we are at this extraordinary moment of support and love, and together we are better. And, as I was sharing with Geri earlier tonight, and as Elizabeth, I know, we can't wait anymore. This is it. This is the moment we've been waiting for. We don't have a choice. And so that's why this show is here, so that we can all come together and say, you know what, we can do this together. If I'm feeling weak in a moment, there's Geri telling me why. You know what, God, if Geri could do it, I can do it. And if Elizabeth can do it, I can do it. And together we can do it even better. And so I'm really glad you called in.
Excellent. No, you're exactly right, because as you stand up and do the right thing for you, you set your children free, even if people don't understand it in the moment.
Exactly. And then you have those moments like I just had with my daughter in July, where the whole thing comes full circle. I never got closure with my parents. I know very few of us get closure with our parents, and especially around who I am. And so that was something, as a lineage holder, I knew I could gift my daughter with, while I'm still alive and coherent and able to really have those conversations. But imagine if the things you could never say to your parents, you were able to have those conversations with your children when they're ready, because you didn't compromise.
To the best of my ability, that's exactly what I am trying to do.
Well, I applaud you for it. I know Geri does too, huh, Geri?
Absolutely.
Well, how can we serve you, Elizabeth Angel?
Oh, I would love a mini soul reading around how I'm doing, clearing all this family history. It's been both joyous and revealing. I've learned so much as I am looking back at stories and forgiving myself and forgiving other family members, doing that practice of, in that moment, we were all doing our best.
Right.
I'd like just to check in and how am I doing with all that?
Well, it's funny. I was going to my Gauri Shankar heart, because I don't normally wear this at night. I don't know why. I normally wear it during the day, but right before I came on tonight, I heard to wear it. And I think I wore it for you, because as I'm feeling it right now, they're showing me you, and they're showing me literally, I love that you're here on Soul Mirrors, right? Because they're showing me you, and you're like two yous. And for a long time, the two of you were back to back, right? So even though it was aspects of yourself, the two were going like in different directions. And what they're showing me now is that these two pieces of you are really seeing each other. And they're saying that this is how you are bringing everything together, that you are finally open and receiving and seeing that which before might have felt uncomfortable to see. And they're saying that you're seeing it with eyes that have never been so awake. And so how are you doing, Angel? I think you're doing amazing. And I'm just so grateful to connect with you. And Geri, is there anything else you would like to share?
No, I think you did it.
Oh, well, thank you. Elizabeth, you did it. Geri said it. You did it.
Many blessings to both of you. Many blessings.
No, and to you, sweetheart. Thank you for calling in. We love you, Angel. Namaste. Bye, honey. All right. And Geri, how is that feeling for you? I mean, I'm really, when we hear like what Elizabeth, I've known Elizabeth, I think probably 10, 12 years as well. And another beautiful being that is just really saying, we have our twists and our turns, but when we keep saying yes to us, everything expands. I mean, how does that feel for you?
Well, I've observed the more that I go after my dreams and the more that I make great things happen for me, I watch my kids mirror it. So I can see the work that I do going forward, how it's helping them move forward. So I have visual knowing and seeing how I know what I'm doing is right. And it's a misconception of the outer world. The airlines got it right? Put your mask on first before you help anyone else.
That is so true. Because if you're not breathing, breathing, that kid isn't getting the mask. And I love that. That's a great way to describe that, Geri. They do have it right. They absolutely do. Now it's how we apply it to everything else. Well, Geri, we've got plenty of other people on the line here. Should we say hello to somebody else? Should we welcome somebody else in?
Absolutely.
All right, let's do that. We're going to go right now. It looks like we're going to Cleveland. And hey, what would be a show without Monica? Monica.
Namaste, beautiful Kira Raa, and hello, namaste, Geri.
Hey, Angel, we love you.
Oh, I want to say, oh, sweet mama.
Oh, Angel. Oh, you're so precious. I love you so much.
I love you too, and I want to see you lovely and pretty and young forever.
And so it is.
Hallelujah.
Yeah.
And I would love a third follow-up mini soul reading for my precious heart.
Well, you know, again, this Gauri Shankar, right? You know, it's just so interesting how it just leapt out at me tonight. And it's interesting, Monica, because I saw you in the call board and I was like, of course, Monica, we're going to say hello to you tonight, because I felt this, how do I describe this? From the lineage holders, it's like you've empowered around the top of your head, and it's like it's at star consciousness. It's about 1 inch thick, and it feels to me almost like, how do I want to describe this? I don't want to say thick energy, but it feels like a crown of radiant harmony. And it's like it keeps doing like this constant Om. It's like Jonathan Goldman's, you know, ultimate Om, like where it was 1,000 people chanting Om at once. That's what I'm hearing around you. And it even makes that O like an Om. And I just keep hearing, and there's a slight pressure, Monica. It's not heavy, but there's a slight pressure. And I just keep hearing that. Bring your heart into this tone. Bring this tone into your heart. And the balance between the two will free you. And they're also saying the prime meridian, the cosmic prime meridian practice, make sure you're doing it. Are you doing it?
Yes, Mother.
Well, sorry. Okay. Thank you, my angel. Now let me get you a nice glass of something warm and tuck you in. All right. So, honey, I'm serious. I see it. I see the clearing, and it even makes my eyes feel like there's wind running through them. So this is a big moment for you about really kind of opening up the greater highways of clarity and the greater conduits of yes, yes, yes. And Geri, do you see anything else that I'm not seeing?
I don't see anything else, no.
Okay, all right. So I'm going to leave you feeling that beautiful Om. I know I'm feeling it. Thank you, Monica. We love you. Bye, honey. Namaste. Namaste. All right. Hey, Geri, we have somebody from Boise, Idaho. So we're going to go to Boise, Idaho and say hi. It says energetic body. I love that. Hey, energetic body from Boise. Namaste.
Hi, this is Anne, and I just want to say I'm just so proud of Geri, because it's because of Geri that I learned about this beautiful movement and the community. I was at a music event, and Geri and I were attracted to each other, and I saw her at the Goddess Fest, and she really is a beautiful goddess. And I just really want to say thank you, Geri, for moving to Boise, for sharing your life, because it has changed my life to, I can't even explain, because there is no words besides joy and love and acceptance. And I just love you, Geri, and thank you.
Thank you so much.
Oh, Geri, my heart, and thank you for calling, honey. I am so glad that you got through on the call board. And, as one who's had the journey, the gift of being the witness of Geri, I agree with everything you've said, and I echo it a millionfold. And this is the gift, right, Geri? Geri. I'm going to call you Journey Geri from now on. That's it. Or Geri the Journey. I don't know. But this is why we do what we do, Geri, right? This is why we do what we do. This is why we persevere, because Geri, how, because you've been around me a long time. I have witnessed hundreds of people, thousands, but hundreds really close up. And 99.9% won't do what you did. And that's why you're on this show. That's why you're out there. That's why people are calling in and saying how much they love you and what you've done, because it's that 0.01% that says, you're going to put my spirituality on trial? Forgive me, guys. F you. I'm who I am. I'm authentic. And yes, maybe I'm going to suffer on a density level. Think about everything that came, even me, right? They went after what is considered to be in this world the ultimate no-no, but then I do want to say, and I am not comparing us, I'm just using this as a sample. Every major spiritual being had to walk away from some form of biological family to find who they really were. And then that biological family also often became their greatest ally of support, but it was usually many years later. So thank you for calling in, my love. Is there anything else we can do for you this evening?
I just want to say one miracle that has happened since I've been on the call with the Lemmy Toters. Last week, my daughter is 34 years old. I spent 2 afternoons with her, just eating lunch, going to secondhand stores, just visiting, helping her out. And that's the first time in ever history of hers and my relationship in this time and space that we've been able to enjoy each other's company 2 days in a row. And so I just, it really has impacted to clear the generations, and watching her step forward and accepting me for who I am. And is there a mini soul reading that you can give just with my children and grandchildren?
Oh, Angel, my heart is just so full with you right now that I am just I'm just loving what I'm feeling, connecting with you. And it's funny, as you were sharing, there was this huge angelic presence that opened up, and it's like it lifted up out of you, and it has this huge, I want to use the word winged, but it's more like portal energy. And what they're saying is that you are doing it. They just keep, it's like they're whispering, but yet I'm saying, I feel like I need to say it out loud. And they're saying, you are doing it. You are doing it. You are doing it. And they're saying that, do not doubt ever. You are doing it. And that's what they want you to hear. And so thank you for calling in and offering us all that gift. I think there's a moment where we all need to remember that we are doing it. So thank you for being such a beautiful beacon of light and love. You are amazing. And I'm so glad you're up in Boise with Geri. That rocks.
Yes.
Woohoo! Namaste. Many blessings, Angel. Thank you. Namaste, Geri. Geri, is there anything you'd like to add, sweetheart?
Thank you, Anne. That was lovely. And I have to add one funny thing, because you were talking about literally the spirituality being on trial. So there was a point in court where literally the other side said, "Can you tell me about this Archangel Zadkiel?"
No, so Zadkiel made it into the court documents.
In the document.
I would have said, do you have a Bible handy? That thing you just made me swear on? Why don't we look in there? Wow. Yeah, no, I find that very surreal, Geri. I really do, because that's part of how I lost my children as well, is my daughter was actually was adopted without my knowledge. And they ran ads in a state, I was living out of the country. And anyway, long story short, I understand what it's like to have it put on trial. I never got into a courtroom with it, but it was because of that they had a psychiatrist say that I was insane because of who I believe I am, so to speak. And it is a fascinating experience when we look at density sanity versus ascended sanity. And I absolutely, with all my heart and soul, really am resolved in, I am now able to be a mother to literally thousands and thousands and thousands of people. And had I not done what I did, I don't think I would have had the capacity to fill that role for so many. And similarly for you, Geri, even just this beautiful being who just called, when we say yes to who we are, what we're really doing is sharing. And it's not selfish at all. It's just the opposite. It's self-full. It's saying I am full, thereby let me assist you to be full as well. It is the ultimate humanitarian service because it is not a sacrifice. We are no longer the sacrificial lamb. We become a beacon that helps other beacons, that helps other beacons. And so it's a very different experience. Have you noticed that?
It was very clear to me now. Now it's like, of course, this is how this is just, it's how it is. I can see that can be available for so many more people other than just my children. And I'll free them to be able to do the same. And if everyone put themselves first, there would be no need for sacrifice. There'd be no need for saving others, because we'd all be saving ourselves.
Exactly. I mean, that's what's so, I mean, it's can you love yourself enough to let yourself lead? And when we do, what we're really saying is yes to the soul, right? I mean, that is the yoga of self-ascension that says, I'm going to love myself enough to be self-full, and that's very, very, I think when Archangel Zadkiel offers us these insightful things, speaking about this Archangel Zadkiel, I'm sorry, it offers us such blessings. And I'm looking at the time, Shri, how much more time do we have? Is it only 2 minutes? That's what I thought. How does that happen, Geri? And so to all of you that are on the phone, I am so sorry. We are not going to be able to get to you this week, but please join us this weekend. Shri and I have a lot to share this weekend. And tomorrow we are putting out our video on the fear dimension. Make sure you check in with that as well. Geri, how can people continue this dialogue with you? How can they find you and be with you in your wonderful space?
Well, the easiest way, you can fly to Boise.
True.
I'll have a shop downtown and lots of workshops coming up. But the easiest way, Oneness Talk Radio, go to the host page and under my name, all my links, my email link, my website link, my Facebook link, it's all right there.
Beautiful. So onenesstalkradio.com. Check out Light, Laughter, and Lattes. Geri, when is that on?
Wednesday at 5 p.m. Pacific time is my premiere night.
All right. How wonderful. And so, beloved ones, thank you. Geri, thank you for an extraordinary show. Thank you for being who you are. And to all of you that are lineage holders, may you know that all is truly well. I love you. We love you. We'll see you next week. Namaste.